Coach Donovan here at About You, home to some of New York's best athletes. And today I'm going to run you through a recovery workout. First, what is a recovery workout? It's a workout that's pretty low intensity, but I can still feel good about moving around for the day, and then I can train the next day. Oftentimes we want to work out and we keep all our days hard in succession, and we either risk injury or we go into our next workout super fatigued. So sometimes you need days off, but if you really can't handle a day off, you might just do something along the lines of a recovery workout. The design is pretty simple. We're going to run through a circuit of stretches. We're going to run through 5 stretches in this circuit format. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll repeat again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can give yourself as little or as much rest as you like. It doesn't really matter. You're mostly just stretching and moving around. It's not like you have a huge, neuromuscular demand. Then after that, we're going to get into 3 exercises for our core. Once again, we'll do them in a circuit format. We'll run through them 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do them again 1, 2, 3. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to run through 1 round of each. But you can do really 1, 2, as many as you want, but I wouldn't overdo it because, again, when I'm doing a recovery workout, I'm probably supposed to be resting. I want to be able to train the next day. All right, so first move we're going to do is a cat-cow. We're going to get down on all 4s. Our knees should be right under our hips. Our hands should be right under our shoulders. And we're just going to round and arch our back. So I'm going to round my back, trying to bring my hips to my shoulders, bring my chin to my belly button, and then I'm going to arch. We're going to do this for a set of 10. Again, we're going to round the back, and we're going to arch. That's 2. You can go at whatever pace you want. I'm going pretty slow. I wouldn't go super fast, though, because then, look like a lady or a gentleman of the night. Got 5 more. So I want to exhale as I round, and I want to inhale as I arch. Let's just get 2 more. Our second movement is going to be a downward dog to a cobra. So we'll start in a push-up position or a high plank, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to push my hips up and back, really driving through the heel of the palm, stretching my hands out as wide as I can get them, and driving the heels of my feet to the floor. Technically, you should be able to get your feet to the floor, and you can adjust by making yourself shorter, but I just always do it like this. And then you'll drop down, hips are on the ground, pick up your chest. You can lock the arms out if you like. When you're in this position, try not to arch your back to the point where you're just crunching your back. I'm lengthening, even though I'm extending through the hip and extending through the spine. I'm not really shortening here, just arching like so, all right? So once again, we push back, and then we drop the hips, lengthen the spine up. Don't just push yourself back. Lengthen the spine up like somebody's pulling a string out of your head. Puppet. Just like before, you can go at whatever pace you want. Got 2 more. That's 1. So next thing we're going to do here is a standing crossover toe touch. We're going to alternate sides here. So I'm going to take my right leg over the left, reach for the toes, and I'm right back up. Cross over, reach for the toes, and I'm right back up. I'm just going to go for 5 on each side. Cannot reach my toes. My legs are uncrossed. I can reach my toes. For the purposes of my own pride, I'm going to do that right after this. Y'all to think I can't stretch. Boom. See? All right, here we go. Next stretch we're gonna do is we're gonna do a 90-90 stretch. We're gonna do one of the simpler variations of this. So we're gonna sit back on our hands, gives ourselves a little bit of support, and it takes a little bit of the stress off of our hips. So I'm gonna have one shin in front and one shin to the side. I'm at roughly 90 degrees, roughly 90 degrees at each knee and at the hips. Now, when I'm in this position, I want to try to drive this knee to the floor and this knee to the floor. So the inside of this knee, outside of this knee. And then I want to pick up this knee as high as I can comfortably and then maintain that space as I go over to the side. All right. Once again, I'm going to pick this up as high as I can, then I maintain that space as I switch. And you could try to walk your hands in and get taller. If you need to, the taller you are, the harder this is. Notice I flipped my hips over sooner. So probably have a little less range of motion the closer I got. Same idea if you sit up nice and tall. Here I have even less time before I switch. But I need to sit back as I can't get this knee to the ground. So I want to try to keep my knees coming from the ground just so I have a level of consistency with how I'm performing this exercise. And it'll kind of give me an indication of when it's time to progress. So right now, both knees can touch. I'm gonna walk the knees in a little bit, walk the hands in a little bit. All right, so we do that for 5 each way. And the last stretch we would do is an alternating pigeon. So we would get into a push-up position once again. And we're gonna try to bring our foot to the opposite hand. I like to keep the chest up and just drop the hip, just so I can focus on what I'm doing with the hip. And then I go back to a push-up position, same thing. Bring the foot to the opposite hand. Get a real good stretch on the outside of that hip, on the outside of that butt cheek. I don't know if you could tell, this is not the highest quality camera. I'm working up a sweat. It's not particularly hot in here. The sweatsuit is not particularly heavy, but I am getting a little workout, even though I'm not banging out the weights. We're doing some sprints right now. And after that, we would get right back into round 2. Again, there's really no impact. So, you rest as needed, but you probably don't need to rest. You can run through 2 rounds of that, and then we get into our core work. So our core exercises aren't going to be that sexy either. Just going to focus on, a little intramuscular coordination and, just meaning like getting my muscles to all work together, these weird spots. And that's a simple way to put it, I guess. And focus on like posture. All right, so we're going to do what I call Deadbugs 2.0. So we're going to start out with a tabletop. We're going to put our hands against our quads. I'm trying to drive my knees into the chest, right, using my hips as I push away with my arms. And that's really going to help me feel my core. And then I'm going to move corresponding arm and leg in and out at a very deliberate pace. So we're going to go about 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. You can make this as easy or as hard as you want. You could just move, or you can go like 7 seconds to the floor, take a year and a day, and then come back home. All right, so you do what works for you. I'm gonna go for 10 reps each side, and I'm gonna try to go for 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. So we're talking about 6 seconds a rep, talking about 2 minutes of core, all right? So it's kind of brutal, even though it doesn't look very hard. So first thing we do here, again, get that tension where the hands and knees meet, really pushing into each other. And if you want to make it even harder, you could do it with a bit of a crunch. I won't be doing that. So we'll go out. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then we switch. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That's our tempo. For the purposes of this video and actually getting it done, I'm not going to take the 2 minutes to do a full set. All right? So feel free to do more or less reps, but I'm prescribing you 10 each side. And you can also go at a quicker or slower tempo. Next exercise we're going to do is side plank hip lifts. We're going to work on some lateral flexion. All right? I'm not a big fan of side bends, but they're not a bad exercise. I'm just not a fan. So I'm going to get into position to do a side plank. So when we do our side plank, we want our elbow under the shoulder. I'm going to pull my shoulders down and back, and I want to kind of hollow my spine, again, doing that bit of a crunch to get the core engaged. So I'm going to bring my hips forward and try to pull my belly button back. So I'm in a bit of a crunch, pulling my shoulders down and back. And I'm squeezing my butt the whole time. We'll go for 10 each side. We'll just pick up and put down, pick up and put down. When you get to the top, there's a little ISO. I'm only holding it for about a second, but feel free to hold it for longer. And then we'll switch. We'll do the same thing, same cues, same spots. We want the elbow right under the shoulder. Proud chest, shoulders are down and back. My hips are gonna come forward, kind of straightening out that line. But most people arch when they do that. We're gonna round our back while the hips go forward. Abs are already engaged. I'm gonna pick up, hold for one, and back down. If you wanna hold for longer, feel free. You can also regress this, doing this on your knees, slightly lighter weight, but you may need to develop the strength and the coordination. This is perfectly fine. Lastly, we have a Superman plank. So we're gonna get into a normal forearm plank, and we're gonna try to reach out with the opposite arm and leg, really firing the muscles, around our scapula, or our delts rather, and our butt, our glutes. So I'm gonna set up my forearm plank. I'm kind of particular about how I set up my forearm plank. My forearms are parallel, just under the shoulders. I'm gonna round my back just like before, pull my shoulders down and back. I'm gonna lock my knees out. So my quads should be burning too when I'm doing this plank. Once I get to this position, I'm gonna pull back. So right now I'm pulling isometrically against the floor. Just again, trying to create more engagement in the core. All right. So now we're gonna do that again, but we're gonna actually do it as a Superman. We're gonna go opposite arm and leg. So I still need to do that same setup, all right? Everything's stacked up, everything's tight, pick up. I'm pulling back. We're gonna go just like our dead bugs. We're gonna go opposite arm and leg. We're gonna reach here, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna reach again, and we're gonna come back. Try to keep the rotation to a minimum. And if you have to, go just arms or just legs. You don't need to do both limbs. It's kind of cool when you have a recovery workout and you actually have things to work towards. So if you're doing any of these things and you need to do an easier version, do the easier version. And next time, hopefully you can progress. All right, let's get to work while we rest.